So, my question to you today is, do you think there is some um, moral virtue in being a martyr? Listen, I'm going to have some real talk, some real conversational talk right now. We women of a certain generation, we have watched our mothers martyr themselves in any number of ways for people and causes that meant absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. And we have watched our mothers and fathers, in some degree, martyr themselves for causes that meant everything and gave us amazing things, only to have other people's children come along and snatch those things away. So I'm asking you today, as you think about how you're going to move into the next chapter of your life, how you're going to move through these transitionary times that you might find yourself in, circumstances that you weren't planning on, I'm going to ask you, before you start thinking about how to help, make sure that you're not being asked to martyr yourself for a cause that is simply not yours. What are your causes right now? What are the causes that are important to guaranteeing your non negotiable peace? Rule number one. What are the causes that are important to guarantee your personal economy? What are the causes that are important to guaranteeing your personal safety? What are the causes that you should be willing to die on a hill for? Because those causes are probably different today than they were a few months ago, and they should be. They should be, because the time is gone, and you know what? When you've lived through some things, like, let's talk about it, y'all. When you've lived through some things and you have seen the fruits of your labors stolen from you by people who do not believe that you could possibly have come up with that, used in ways you never intended, okay, asked for again and again and again with zero return on the investment that you put into it, when you have seen the life that you have chosen to live for yourself be broken down in ways because other people don't want to acknowledge the value that you provide, you need to quit martyring yourself for causes that are not yours. What causes are yours that you should be thinking about putting your all into? And I bet you, if you think about them long and hard, they're not the causes that are being yammered about in social media. They're more probably the causes that say, you know what, I have dreams and goals and aspirations, and I live in the 21st goddamn century. And I am not about to let people take us back to the 19th century because they're still hanging out in the 18th century. So I ask you the question again. Is it really? Is it really a virtue to be martyred for a cause that literally, even if you give your all to it, isn't going to give jack shit back to you? No, it's not. It's not. Most of us who have reached a certain point in our life have recognized throughout the course of our life that we have given ourselves over to options and opportunities for the sake of other people. And we've been taught that that's a good thing, that the sacrifice that we have made for other people will come back to us tenfold in some way, or in heaven, if that's what you believe. I'm asking you to live now. I'm asking you to make some really, sorry, I'm trying not to cough. Not because I have a cold, but you know how you have that tickle and you just try not to cough? I'm asking you to think long and hard about whether or not the cup that you are filling up is being filled with the stuff that you want to fill it with. Because a lot of folks are probably thinking, oh, if I did what I wanted to do, people would call me selfish. If I really did what I wanted to do, people would say that I was abandoning the cause, abandoning my people, not not being a team player. Notice the silence here. You need to learn how to advocate for yourself and let the allies do their own thing. Here's why. The things that are happening that are going to directly impact the people whom you love have to be fought for by the people that you love, or else it's not worth fighting for. And being a martyr to causes that, again, bring no return on investment of your time, effort, energy, money, means that you're simply being a martyr. You're not being a fighter, you're just being a martyr. And ask yourself, Would the people that you have been a martyr for martyr themselves for you? Would they put themselves online? I did a video, it's back on my page somewhere, I'll try to find it, where I talked about relationships. And I was talking to young women. And I said, Gen X women are lighting the fires along the relationship path so that you can see the red flags and not have to live them. Because the idea that you should just live the red flag and live the red flag and live the red flag and learn and learn and learn is ridiculous. Why would you want to keep repeating the patterns that generations of women before you have already lived and said, just don't go that way? Here are the red flags. Don't go that way. And that holds true, especially in these times, for some really important other issues. Where to spend your time, how to spend your money, where to live, where to call home, who to associate with, how to get past the fear, the anxiety. I wrote a book about that, by the way. The Anxiety Solution is out now. The fear, the anxiety, the dread some days. What you need to do to take care of yourself has to become the priority. And there are people who have gone on before you to light the way. I think about some of the amazing and very talented, very talented artists, musicians in this country that I live in, who had to flee, not only because they were unappreciated, because they were, but for their lives. And they went places that valued them, that looked at their color of their skin, the quality of their art, the beauty of their humanness, and embraced it. I look at the historical lens of a people who have had to move, to make decisions, to go new places, to find a footing where they could build a safe and peaceful existence. The great migrations of history teach us a lot about the red flags that people need to get moving. Being a martyr to causes that have historically been used against you, even though you were martyred to them, even though you made gains in them, that have historically then been used against you, the very person who did the work, has got to be the biggest wake-up call on the planet. It just does. And so I want you to think about, what is it that I no longer need to martyr myself to? And what decisions can I make now that will allow my life to look vastly different than current trajectory might indicate it's going to look? We live in the 21st century. I was talking to a really good friend of mine today. None of us have any desire to live in the 18th century. Some of y'all do. Most of us don't. Since most of us don't, it starts with you. And if you're watching my channel, you know what I'm going to say to you, which is, do you have a passport? Get that worked out yet? Start building that tribe. Start cutting out those folks who have been using your martyrdom as an excuse to do no work at all. Been scouting new blocks, buildings, states, countries. Been thinking about how to parlay your skills and expertise into income that will allow you to be a little more flexible, a little more free. So many things to do. So many better things to do than continually playing martyr for causes that will be used against you. We don't have time for that anymore. So I'm going to leave you with that question. Is it worth being a martyr? Is the virtue of martyrdom really important? And if it has been in your life because that's how you were raised, because a lot of us were raised to sacrifice. If it has been worth it in your life before, is it still worth it in your life now? Or have you reached the beautiful liminal age where gray roots and a few wrinkles has also brought an amazing understanding and self-awareness of what you are and what you deserve? I read a book called The Anxiety Solution. I put it out there as a balm for the chaos. If you are struggling with trying to figure out how to just get off go, if the noise is too big in your head and you can't even figure out which direction to turn, this book is for you. I'll link to it down below. I'm always here to support and love you. And hopefully the answer to the question about martyrdom is no. See you soon. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.